What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another Pokemon Rants. To be thrifty in Pokemon is more than just being careful with your resources. Instead, it's the continuous learning in this ever-changing market while applying deep knowledge of the past and present to project ourselves positively into the future. Elise at ThriftyTCG does all these things and much more. Her roots run deep into the hobby as a collector ever since that Flareon first edition fossil pack artwork lured her in at the rubber stamp store with her mom. While temporarily pulled away due to the demands of competitive soccer and life's changes, but only to return to what she loves most in a newfound enjoyment. Jumping into the content creation space, collecticon vending, and much more, Elise has enriched her experiences within the vastness of this hobby. Known by many, but loved by more, let's get thrifty with Elise at the Thrifty TCG store. Welcome to Pokemon Wonder.
That's too much, dude. You got me, bro. Jeez.
Good stuff. Welcome in. Glad to have you here. As I said to you before we joined this, really appreciate your time, as I appreciate everybody's time. It means a lot to me, and that you spent it with us here today. Again, it's forever felt. So thank you so much.
I appreciate you having me. I'm excited to finally get on these podcasts and have some fun with the boys.
Let's do it.
We got a good chat rolling in. I'm excited.
Yeah, already. Waller says, finally, a pillar, about time.
I've sent out the DGen call, so hopefully we will get many in here tonight.
I appreciate it. Well, my dear, get us started. I love to hear it. Everybody's journey is a little bit different, but somehow they all overlap. Where did you get started? I think it was a little bit there at the stamp store, but I'd love to hear a little bit more and kind of dive into the beginnings.
Well, Wonder does the full ninja deep dive on everybody. So he finds your first ever live stream, and he just like pulls things out of the ether, of the internet ether. So, the first time I think I opened cards was, I don't even know what year it was, to be honest. Just a little kid, and I went to, like, scrapbooking was like a big thing, I guess, at that time of life in the 90s. And
huge,
so
my mom did the same thing.
Yeah, it's just like a thing people did a lot. I don't know. There's tons in my, like, upstairs in my house. It's mad. And we went to a stamp store, and I got a first edition Jungle Pack, and I pulled a Vaporeon Holo, and it was just all over. Like, I was done for. So I was in like fifth grade when I was like really deep into it. And then after that, it kind of just fell off for a little while because, being a kid and, doing real things, touching grass,
That's right. Running, playing with sticks, like we should.
Exactly.
Were you aware enough at the time to even be excited about the Vaporeon Holo? Or
didn't.
There's a card.
I just loved, like, it was shiny, it was pretty. I was done for. Like, I was like really into. I wanted to be like a marine biologist when I was a little kid. So like Vaporeon's like a mermaidy, like, dolphin-y looking dog thing. I don't know. It just like got me. I was just like, oh snap, dude, this is fire. Like, this is right up my alley.
And so you did it for a couple of years then, or did you really just transition back out of it for a little while until a little bit later in life?
I think it was maybe 2 years I had in me. I don't remember a lot of like my early collecting life. Like, I don't remember what I had. I know I like vividly remember selling it at a garage sale, like for sure, to some dude. I had like the little plastic, like yellow 4-slot binder or whatever that had Pikachu on it, and sold the whole thing to some dude at a garage sale for probably like $50 or something. I don't remember what was in it, but
You were like, I don't care. Yeah, just get rid of it.
To everybody, and I was like, $50, let's go.
I'm rich.
Yeah, exactly. So, yeah,
all right,
that was my first flip, technically, I guess.
Yeah, there we go. The beginnings of a future journey. We'll dive into it. But when did the Game Boy Color come in? Because you also played the game for a little while. Was it the same time frame?
It was probably around the same time, probably 4th and 5th grade was when I played a lot. And then I had yellow when it first came out. And like the clear DS, like the purple clear DS, that's my
Nice.
stuff. And you know, just like road trips, and we used to go to Disney a lot when I was a kid. So it's like a 2.5 hour drive or whatever to Disney. So you just play the whole way up there, and it wouldn't make the time go a lot faster. So it was nice, you know. You wouldn't annoy your parents because you're just playing your DS
in the backseat, quiet. Like, I don't need anything. I'm good. Just headphones, plugged in, jacked in.
I'm all set. If I got a good fresh batteries, I'm good to go.
Did you end up buying anything else on the Game Boy before you end up taking your break, or was it just those two?
I didn't really play a lot of video games when I was a kid until like Nintendo 64, really.
Okay.
I had Sega when I was a kid, so like Sonic was big for me and stuff like that. But I think that's like, there's a couple of nostalgic games that I have, like Echo the Dolphin is like super nostalgic.
Oh, that was a good one.
Super weird and random, but I loved that game. And then just like weird stuff. I don't know, just not anything super popular, but yeah, that. And then later on, I like got super into like Call of Duty and Guitar Hero, like later on in my life. And so those are my main games pretty much. I have most hours in Call of Duty and Rock Band probably. Stark.
We're jumping around here a little bit, but was Rock Band the reference you made when he talked about like you ruined like your wrist or something?
Oh yeah, I'm done for. Yeah, my hands are wrecked. Like I have really small hands. I'm like really short and tiny, and so like, and like the controller is really big. Like you have to like stretch your hands so far to like hit everything, and so. Yeah,
I was hoping you were gonna say like you were in a real rock band. I was like, this is
no. Actually, just a fake one. Thanks. No, just for nothing. Actually, for pure enjoyment and being a little messed up with my friends. So
that's all right. That's all right. It's about the same. You know,
it was a memory. It's about the memory.
No, exactly. Well, you mentioned marine biologist, but I don't think that's your actual background in education. No. Yeah, because you're in hospice, so, or at least you were.
I used to do nursing. I started doing pediatric home health nursing when I came out of college, and that was really fun actually, because like I got to like be with one family for like a long time. So it was like a kid that was like 3 years, or like maybe she was like 2 when I first got assigned to her. And then I was with her up until she was like 5 or something.
Okay.
And got her into Pokemon. Like her 7th birthday I went to, and it's all Pokemon everywhere. I'm like, bro, I have done it. I have done it, dude. Like, this is it. So,
talk about influencer.
That was my first major influence on a person, I think, was with that kid. So that's just like super funny to see. Like later on, you go to their, like, I still keep in contact with a lot of people that from back then, just because it's like you basically become part of their family.
You do. Anytime you spend that much time with somebody's kids,
yeah, exactly. Yeah. And like, you know, it was just like a really good family, and I love them all to death. So it was like always a good time at work, which is nice. But then after that, sorry, go ahead.
Were you still in hospice at the moment?
No, that was like when I first got out of school.
Okay.
I did all of that, and it was nice, and you know, you learn a lot. But it's also very calm and like not hectic. I didn't like nursing school that much. I like don't really like hospitals, but I didn't realize that until like I'm almost done with my stuff. You're like, and you have to go do your clinicals, and it's like, oh, hospitals actually kind of suck, dude. Yeah. Like it's depressing. Like I used to give myself like anxiety attacks, like going in, like just not cool. Like, ugh. Anyways. So I started doing home health because I was like, oh, this is like way calmer, you know?
Right.
And then I went from doing that to there was like an opening for a home health case management. Okay. So I started doing case management, and then you have from one family to like 40 families on your roster that you have to like oversee like their care and like do all these like, you know, checkups and make sure everything's being done properly and all this stuff. A lot of paperwork, a lot of house visits and stuff like that. So I did that, and then I quit a couple of years ago because I had to go. I went and took care of my grandparents for a while, like maybe 2 years. I was in North Carolina for.
Oh, really?
And I did hospice care for my grandma and just like took care of my grandpa because he was like, you know, he's like old, but he can get around himself. But you can't really have him at the house by himself, kind of thing, you know. So I took care of them for like 2 years, and then I took a break from nursing for like a year after they kind of got, my grandma passed, and then my grandpa like went to live somewhere else kind of thing. So and then I took a year off because I was just like, I don't want to do this really anymore, and like just need to figure this out, take a break. So then I went back. Literally I think I got hired like the first week of March before the pandemic. And then I'm like, shit, this sucks. Like everything shuts down. I'm like, we're not working from home. We're actually like in the office. They didn't do anything. We just had to wear masks like 24/7 in office. And like the first week of COVID, one of our ladies got sick in our office and was out for like a month. It was like, you have to pick up that slack. It's just like, it was crazy. Anyways. So I did that for like, I don't know, a year. And then same thing, going back to case management because I had already been with the company. I just like kind of rejoined the company later on. So I knew everybody. I knew the processes. Like it was the easiest hire for them. So and then after that, I went and worked for like an old family friend who I've literally known my whole life. She was like 92 or something like that. And like her kids couldn't take care of her. They had, they have their own stuff, and she lives down here by me. So I just like did live-in nursing, live-in home health with her for like, so I'd be there for like 5 days a week, and then I'd come home and stay here 2 days and then go back and forth and stuff. So
yeah, that's the references probably that I heard when you said, especially when you were trying to deal with like eBay issues, like, hey, I'm not even there for like 5 days a week. So
it's raw. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah, that was when I was buying, so it wasn't as bad. Like I wasn't selling at all back then. Like I think that interview, I was like right before I started like actually trying to be, sell my cards. So.
And what about now? Where does that bring you to now?
Now I'm pretty much full-time Pokemon. Last year was my first full year doing it, full-time. And so I took time off to help my mom because she was sick. So I just like kind of did eBay stuff to kind of keep me busy and just like do in between whatever we had to do and like supplement what I was buying and just like having fun. And then it kind of got serious, I was like, shit, I'm like, kind of making money here, dude. This is
working out.
This isn't so bad. And then like going to conventions like that just is like a fun thing to do on top of, there's making money and then there's hanging out with your friends, and it's a great little meshing of those things.
Bring those two things together and it's called a good time.
Can't complain.
All right, good. Well, congrats on the full first year. Now moving into the second. It's going to be
pretty
exciting. Yeah.
Pretty good.
Right. Well, we'll do a quick shout out here to the chat before we continue, just to show the appreciation, show the love. I see Nesto is in here early. You've got Cheval's in here. I have FOMO. Good to see you, gentlemen. Chef's in the house. Good to see you, Chef. Hope you're not working too hard tonight, my friend. You got Check NFX. Felipe's here. Good to see you, Felipe. Ponga's in the house as well. Good to see you guys. I'm not here for Walrus, so I'll skip that one. Let's see. Beerski, good to see you, bud. Max Wolf. Marshall's in the house as well. Good to see you guys. Ray's here as well. Good to see you, Ray.
What's good?
Hope you're doing well, buddy. Hope you're doing well. Got BB in here.
My boys.
And
I'll see y'all tomorrow.
Steve. Good stuff, guys. I really appreciate you stopping by. Thanks for showing the love. And we'll keep it going here. So,
yo, Thrifty, BB, text me. Hold on, BB, text me the address to that Airbnb, big dark, because I'm gonna need somewhere to hang out. You feel me? Text me.
Getting thrifty. Right here.
That's funny.
But going back maybe a little bit to your collection for just a few minutes, you actually spent the majority of your time, and maybe even now, in the Japanese space. And I know you spoke a little bit about why you liked it. You kind of got to see the cards before they released in English. You kind of liked some of the quality. Is that what really keeps you driven towards Japanese? Or is there other maybe business perspectives now that keeps you in that space, or you maybe even out of it?
I think it's both. I don't think I like. Man, I wish I had more English. Like, I think
Okay.
I don't have enough English, and I don't like try to seek it out enough, and that's like an L for me. Like, honestly, like that's on me. But I do primarily stick to Japanese just because it grades like very easily, and you know, it's out first, so you can capitalize on the premiums. It's dark, but you know, it's, you know, there's arbitrage that's available out in these streets, and you just kind of gotta do what you can, you know. So.
Nesta says you don't have to answer.
Oh,
I decline to answer. Yeah.
You know, it's when the sets first come out, like that's when you have to go. Like that's when you have to go the hardest, because after that you're, you know, 2 weeks, 3 weeks.
Margins are gone.
Sell those ARs, big dog.
Sitting near the bottom anyways. Yeah.
It's tough, man. So
where do you maybe play in that space in terms of switching over to English? When it starts to then drop off, do you then shift your focus and energy to try to capture the same on the English side before it has the same 3-week run window?
Honestly, I'll do that for chase cards. Like after a set releases or something, I'll go hit there's a couple stores by me. Prodigy is like a big store on TCG Player, and they're literally like 20 minutes down the road from me.
Oh, really?
So, and they don't grade anything. So any card that's in their case is not pre-graded. It's, you know, you can go in there and just, I could go in there like once a week and just like pull out a stack of cards and be good to go. So that's the good thing about it. That's like one thing I need to do more of, honestly, because I don't go there every week. I go there like once a month or something. I don't even know. It's not enough. We'll say that. But
sourcing locally is nice. Yeah. Yeah,
it is nice, honestly. And, you know, it's funny because like there's a lot of weird little shows around here that I've found recently that are, you just like meet people, which is cool. And it's funny because like the guys that are from home that I vend with at this little like card store, they were like right across from us at Orlando. And it was just so funny. And I was just like, whoa, this is so random, bro. Like, what the hell? I'm like looking right at them. I'm like, what are you guys doing here? How did this happen? Like,
I love it. I love it.
Out of every vendor in this whole place, there's 500, 800 tables or whatever it is. And I'm like staring at a guy from home. I'm like, what the hell? It's crazy.
Small world. Small world.
It is. It is a very small world. That is true.
Where do you do a lot of your sourcing other than locally? Do you do most of it on Buyee and the typiple places, or do you have any nice little gems?
I've been buying a lot more at shows, which is good. Like, I think I've bought more at Orlando Collecticon than I've like ever bought at all the shows I've been to combined, which is like a new thing for me. Like,
a little scary.
Yeah, I was like, okay, dropping $800 on this binder. Like, I don't like. Maybe I think I'll make my money back, and then you get digging into the binder, and you're like, oh shit, this is like $20. Yeah. Oh shit, this is like $30. Exactly. Let's go, dude. And you're like, okay, we'll be good.
That feeling, I've spoke about it a few times. That feeling of going through a binder and finding those juicy ones, man, it combines the childhood nostalgia of just going through a binder, but then you also get to see that your fruits of the labor are really going to to like, oh, this great.
Isn't that bad.
Yeah, exactly. I've had the other way around, but yeah, it's definitely good when it works out. Yeah.
Yep, 100%. It happens, you know. You just gotta. It just comes down to like, it was funny. It was a guy that I sold a box of Ebo Skies to, and he like did a coin flip with me for like $100 in cash, basically, is what we were flipping for extra. And then he ended up selling me his binder like later on. So it was like that $100 basically got me this like binder that's going to be like 2K worth of like English modern, like everything. So I was like,
so you won the coin flip and got the binder?
I know
That's awesome.
I lost the coin flip.
Oh, okay.
So I got the binder, I think.
Okay.
So he was like more willing to like sell me the binder. I was like, bro, you got me for $100. Like, come on, bro. And yeah, it was perfect. It's honestly, it's everything I need for Card Party. And I was like,
oh, awesome.
This is the best like possibility that could have happened to me this weekend.
I love it.
I have like 500 extra cards for Card Party that I didn't have to do anything. Like, just walked up to my table. That's
beautiful.
That's what you need, you know?
I love it. You got to be there to scoop them up when they're available to you. That's for sure.
For sure.
And be ready.
Yep.
Good to see you, Pokefresh. Thanks for stopping in. No worries. Good to see you. Cheval says, Echo the Dolphin, memories unlocked. Exactly.
Bro,
it was a good one.
It is a game and a half. If you haven't played it, it's good stuff.
I don't know if I could do it nowadays, but
I don't think it could hold my attention for more than 5 minutes now. But like back then, that was like the coolest shit
awesome.
I'd ever seen.
It was awesome.
So, like whatever.
I don't know how we got those games. It wasn't like we went to the store and bought it. Hey, Mom, can I have Echo the Dolphin? I don't know how we got it, but
yeah, that's funny. That's weird. Maybe it came with it or something.
I think that's what it was. Like it came in one of the boxes.
Nobody would buy that game. Like
exactly.
So weird.
So I missed it in the storyline. When you left, what brought you back to Pokemon? What was the event? The thing? Was it the Logan Paul boom? Where did you get back in?
My first time I came back in was in 2016 with Pokemon Go, like right after Pokemon Go came out, pretty much, maybe a couple months. And I found, I don't know why, but I was in like a Dollar Tree and I just bought a bunch. I saw the like Evolutions packs.
I was about to say, yeah.
And they had like, everything basically back then in Dollar Trees. And so I was just like buying that, and then I was like, "Oh shit, you can buy!" I forgot you could buy these at Target. Like, okay, cool. So I went and got a bunch of stuff, and then didn't hit anything. Like it was just like threw away hundreds of dollars, and then
right. Dollar Tree packs, dollar store.
Yeah, I mean, even the regular ones at Target, I just was ripping whatever I can find. Yeah, and didn't pull much, but it was fun. It was fine.
It was the rite of passage we all have to do.
Yeah, and like Evolutions was a good time. I would sell the cards on eBay that I didn't want, or take them to like, there's this place by my house called, it's like an hour from me actually. It's called Cool Stuff Inc. And they buy like, they have a buy list that you can go through on their website, and it'll tell you how much they pay for it, and you just like add it to your buy list, and then you print out the thing and bring all the cards to them, and they just pay you whatever. So I used to do that when I was like lazy and didn't feel like doing it. I should have kept all those cards TBH, but it's fine. And then I used to rip, back when I came back in, I would buy like, they had these lots. Someone would sell them on eBay. It was like 3-pack lots of Gym, Rocket, like all the old Japanese sets. Right. And so I would like try to snipe those for like $45 for 3 packs. Nice. Which was lit. And now those packs are like $200 a pop or something, and I'm just like ripping them like a maniac. It's $15. Who cares? I like looked into buying a booster box of I don't even know, like one of the gyms I tried to buy a booster box of, and it was like $2,000 probably at that time for 60 packs of gym. Maybe 2 to 4, somewhere in there. I forget the exact price, but it was, and I was just like, that's kind of reasonable. Like,
that's worth it.
And then I was just
Did
like,
you buy it?
No, I'm just too much of a baby. I'm not going to drop $2K. I was dropping like $30 on freaking Dollar Tree packs. I'm like, I'm not that big. I was super cheap. Like, I didn't have a lot of money. It was like early, right after college. I'm like in debt. I don't really have that much money. So, and then a weird thing happened. My sister and her boyfriend, they own like a vintage clothing store.
Oh, cool.
And and he got, some lady like had called them up and was like, hey, I have these boxes in my closet, and it was 2 base set unlimited boxes, and he tried to like pawn them. My buddy, my sister's boyfriend tried to like, or maybe he worked at a pawn store at that time. Yeah, he worked at the pawn store at the time, but they like were in the process of getting their store going, and the pawn store didn't want them, like wouldn't take them, and it's
Wow.
like, bro, what are you doing? Like this is awesome. Like, anyways, so Doug tried to get them to buy it. They wouldn't buy it, so he like contacted the lady outside of the pawn shop, and like on his own time or whatever. And so
I
he
love it.
consigned the base set boxes for her. And I was like, at the time, I was like, bro, I watch these dudes on YouTube. Like,
Rip them
if you
all day
want, I
long.
can like send them an email or something if you want to try to sell it to them. I think they'll pay like $2K or something. And so he ended up selling them for like $1,500 each. But I was like, Doug, we should
Wow.
split this box. We should split one of these boxes. And he was like, bro, you're crazy. That's insane. Like, we're not doing that. And I was just like, okay, fine. Like, whatever. I can't be bothered. Whatever. And, you know, we're kicking ourselves.
Regrets.
at this
Regrets. Right. Regrets.
It's fine. You know, it happens. Everything happens for a reason.
Oh, that's a good story. Oh, wow. Wouldn't
Yeah.
take them. That's hard for me
They
to believe.
wouldn't take the base set boxes. Like,
Wow.
okay,
Wow.
whatever. So weird. Very odd.
Where did that take you now? Because I know you got into obviously some binder collecting, a little bit of everything really. You were into sports, soccer, you name it. You kind of collected a little bit of everything.
Sure.
Then you got into, oat poisoned your brain, and you got into set registry.
He got me with that.
yeah.
I've been weaned off of that.
Okay, I was
That
wondering.
copium, luckily, but yeah, I was in on that for a little while. That like kept me focused when I was like at a time where I was just like buying too much. I think when I first got in, it was like 2016. I got out at like 2018 or 2017 or something like that. It was maybe a year of just like a blip. Like whenever Shining Legends, that's the last set I ripped, was Shining Legends that time. And I was like doing a lot of breaks, which was really shit, like really bad for my, it's like gambling. It's just like, it was just gambling basically is what we were doing. And I did like the one guy I used to watch, he would do a hit draft. So he'd open like however many packs, everyone would pay like a certain amount to get in on the hit draft. You'd open like 100 packs, and then every hit would go up on the wall, and like you'd randomize your order of who can pick what they want out of the hits. So the first time I did this, I got the first spot, and he had pulled the Mewtwo. And so I got the Mewtwo, and I was like, this is lit. And then I was like out after I got that card. Like, it was, yeah, I was over.
Sounds like a rigged Concito to me.
I've done it. I cannot do any better. That's it. So, and yeah, I just was spending too much money at that time, and just like had to cold turkey it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a very addictive personality, and for those reasons, yeah, it had to go.
Speaking of gambling, are you still doing the online poker?
Yeah, not as much anymore, honestly, just because most of my time goes into this stuff now, honestly. And like, it's just not, I don't have the patience anymore. I used to sit there for like 10 or 12 hours in front of my computer and just like grind out a tournament, but it is not possible at this time. Like, the hourly is the hourly is so bad in online poker, and like ROI is so bad. It's like, I don't know, if you're good, it's 20%, and that's not that great.
Right.
So
we can do better in Pokemon.
Yeah, it's like I can enter a tournament for like $50, or I could go buy a card for $50 and make $80. Like,
right.
You know what I mean? Okay, let's do that.
Yeah,
I'd rather do that.
Times 100.
That's more appealing. Like the lessening of variance in my life is very important to me at this time. So
especially when you're traveling and you're doing the collecticons, and there's no time for that stuff.
Yeah, I really don't have a ton of time to do it, which is sad, but it's fine. Not a big deal. I get my like fixes through Ernie now. He goes to play at the casino, and I just like listen to his war stories, and I'm fine with that.
Learn from somebody else's mistakes. I love it. And their lost money.
Exactly. I'll take his dubs and his L's and just, he doesn't take L's though, bro. He's freaking,
he's killing it.
Yeah, bro.
Was that your Ernie voice? Was that what that was?
No. I'm gonna not impersonate Ernesto tonight. Him and his are good.
Okay. All right. And actually, ironically, he says, "Yawn. Go ahead and ask her deepest, darkest secrets already."
Oh no.
We got to work into that, man. We got to ease into it. You know,
yeah.
Keep the guest here, man.
He's got to buy me a drink first, dude. Sorry, my fault. Chill out.
Good to see you guys. I appreciate you showing up. I think Dan dropped in for a few minutes to say hi. No worries, Dan. We'll catch you tomorrow, buddy. Have a good night, man.
All right. Thanks, Dan.
All right. Well, where does it take you? Because, again, we say this all the time, but as you dive into the business side and we kind of leave this topic of your personal collection, did you lose it? Are you keeping it? You finding the balance? You still enjoy it? Or is everything inventory?
I have a couple of cards that are not for sale, but most of it is at this time.
It's funny how it changes.
It's just like, do I want this plastic or do I want movable capital? Like, it's like very tough to hold on to things that are worth a lot of money for me. Like, I don't feel like responsible holding things that are expensive, to be honest. Like, I don't value a lot of these things the same way the market does in any way, shape, or form. So like signatures and stuff like that, like I don't. It's people are willing to pay exorbitant amount of things for cards and prices for cards, and I just can't do that. Like, it's not in my like being to have the good stuff. I don't care. Like, it doesn't really mean that much to me. I just like what I like, and it's cheap stuff. It's not expensive stuff, you know? So that's
where do you, obviously the collecticons and the friends and the enjoyment of that experience is a part of where you still get to enjoy the hobby. Is there something else that you still get to do that's outside of the events and hanging out with the friends that you still enjoy, even if it's part of the business flow?
Honestly, I love buying stuff. I am like a shopaholic. If I was able to just like, if you just like let me loose on internet, on like the internet, I'm done for, dude. Like, I'll spend all day, all night buying. Like, I don't care. It's fun. That's the fun part to me.
Searching for the treasures.
This stuff doesn't feel like work to me in any way. So I don't, it's fun to just do this every day. And that's, you don't always, like, it doesn't always feel like that. Right. But like, you just have to kind of be grateful instead of like annoyed by it or something, or like, you don't have to do it. You don't have to do it. Nobody does. We don't have to do any of this, technically. Like, just go get a job. Like, I could just go back to job.
Exactly.
It's fine. But like, if I can replace my income as a nurse with this, why wouldn't I do that? Like, so yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with it. And like, nursing is just so like, it's just so taxing emotionally, like mentally, physically, like, and it's just, I had to take a break, man. Like, so yeah, this is it for now.
Yeah. I got a couple of friends in the health space and even in some doctor and psychiatry space. And it's a lot. I don't know that I could do it for a prolonged period of time, maybe a couple of years, maybe even 5. But once you get so far in, especially to some of your points, being with families or being with elderly that you care for and connect with and bond with, and then seeing them pass, and that's hard.
Yeah, it's super. Yeah. It's like, abandonment issue city, basically. Yeah. Welcome. Like, present, guys. It's
check in, mate.
We are here. Yeah. We are it.
So letting go of Pokemon cards is a lot easier.
Yeah. Oh, in and out, baby. Let's go. But yeah, it's fun. I don't. Yeah, why would I do something that's depressing or like?
Yeah.
I could have. You can do so many things in life, and it's like, why would I make myself just like not happy if I can? You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, that's probably the most basic, but the most, I would say, serious question.
It's
that we could
just
all
like
ask
a
ourselves.
quality of life thing, honestly. Like, it's tough being like responsible. Like, I'm like one of the least responsible people probably, which is why I have friends that are very responsible so that I don't have to
Helps
do
you out.
that. So that's good. But yeah, they help. And so you just kind of keep going.
Fully understand. Yeah, and it can be challenging sometimes, but having the right people in your corner definitely help out, which I think is a great transition to maybe talk about how do you structure your business? What's your focus? You mentioned obviously collecticons, local shows. Are you doing a lot of online presence? What's been your strategy in year one? What are you doing now?
Well, usually I stick to eBay, but
Okay.
lately it's like with the shows like stacked on top of each other, basically, it's very difficult to like be motivated in between the weeks of these shows to like list stuff on eBay if I'm literally just going to be able to move it for cash in like a week and a half, basically, after I get my stuff like together after I sleep for like 3 days after I collect a con and then start listing shit on eBay. And it's like, why bother? But it's like, it's good to just keep the train rolling kind of, like you have to, we're feeding the algorithm here. That's all we're doing. And if I can do a little bit and get a few sales during the times that I'm not at shows, like that kind of just fuels it in between. But yeah, shows are like probably, I'm hoping that it's like 80% of my revenue this year probably is shows stuff. And I'm going to try to go to every single one that I can. And whether that means, not like just bringing a binder to, give to one of my guys that streams and, I just go there, drop the binder off and get cash. And then I can go on my sweet and merry way. Or, just vending and like sticking out the whole weekend. So.
Do you focus mostly for yourself when it comes to sales in slabs, or do you do raw? Do you do sealed?
Most of it, I would say a majority of my sales now are raw singles.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I just grade stuff that I know is going to 10. And if it's not, if it's like borderline, I just give it up to the people for the binder people, like binder boys are real and they're, God bless them, I love a good binder. It's just like, that's what it's for is, a little bit OC.
Yep.
That's what that's for,
Yep. It's perfect. It looks good otherwise. Yep. Slip it on the sleeve and slide it in the binder.
Fine. So that's who I'm vending for pretty much is just people that are, I have 10 tenable cards. Like they're there. It's just, I don't feel like taking the gamble or like if I can make, my margins are pretty good on raw singles that I don't have to grade or I don't feel like pressured to grade anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I think that's a good place to be because you can really, one sub can just like fuck your whole day up. Like it really can like screw a month over. You know what I mean? So I don't really need that. And it's like avoiding variance literally it's another point of variance avoidance basically. So
yeah, very much so. And I do mostly singles myself. And I will say most people who was, I said before, is willing to put in the work. And there's a lot there. And granted, maybe you don't get the same margins or the same dollar amount, absolute dollar amount, depending on what it is. But to your point, like find that balance between hitting those nice 10s, something that's a little bit more secure, having the raw to kind of fulfill the cards for
Yeah.
people playing decks and so on and so forth.
Sure.
It's the way to go, in my opinion. It's a nice little mix of both.
Yeah, and you get a lot. Like, you can
Yeah.
buy a lot more. Like, you can do so much more when you're going for raw. Like, the $800 I spent on that binder, that could have been like 8 cards in slabs at Collecticon. You know what I mean? Like, I'd rather have 500 cards. Like, what are we talking about? You know,
better to fill out a table.
Yeah, exactly.
Easier to fill out a table. And it fits on your carry-on. So
exactly. Like, 8 slabs are cool if it's like, it just depends on the slabs, obviously. But like, you know, I'd rather have a lot more cards for people to look through and like keep people at the table. And like, when they ask if you have English, you can actually say yes, and that's pretty lit. I'm not gonna lie, dude.
Finally, cha-ching.
Like, yes, I can do it now. I'm with it.
I'm hip, guys. I'm hip.
So,
do you play in other languages? Do you jump into Spanish, Korean, Chinese?
I used to. I have actually, you know what? I think I sold the Spanish Heart Gold Soul Silver box at Collecticon in Orlando recently, and like did take an L, took an L, but only to lost like $20, so it's fine. And I love that box, so I was like not that. I was
not
just
thrilled about it.
Anyways, $400, I'll take that. Anyways, I used to open Korean Evolutions back in the day.
Wow. Okay.
They had boxes. The boxes were like $25, and they used to take like 3 weeks to get here from Korea. Wow. And it was the worst. So you just like order them and forget about it, and just like one day you get like 5 boxes, and you're like, oh, I paid $100 for all these. And I think like Rusty went and did a box break of this stuff, of the Korean Evolutions, and it was like a $2,000 box or some shit. I was like, okay. I'm never opening anything ever again. That's it. Done, and done.
Yeah, the ripping days are long behind us at some point.
I can't be bothered anymore, really. It's like, I like having it available. Like, I'm bringing, you know, as much as I can fit in my little car, basically, to the card party. But I don't really like sealed that much. But you know, it has its purposes.
Did you actually go to the first card party, or is this gonna be your first one?
No, this will be my first time. I'm excited. I really have no idea what to expect, so I'm just like gonna show up, be like, "Hey guys, what's going on?" And you know, it's weird because it's 3 days. I've never had a 3-day show, which it's cool. I'm just like, I don't know how busy it'll be on Friday, so I'm kind of like, that might not be great, but
should be interesting. I'd love to hear about it when you get back. Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. I'll probably do a live with Weedle and Ray or something like that, and we'll hash it out for everybody.
I love it. Yeah, especially part 2. I think definitely DPM is going to be going all out on this one, and double, tripling up. Yeah.
I don't know. Pat is interesting. He's like a really funky guy. You know, he's like. It's like a little older. He's like, you know, doing things for his community. It's really nice, you know. It's you gotta respect the positivity. So yeah, I'll take it.
I didn't realize how successful he was in other spaces. And as I looked more into his history, I was like, wow, okay, he's actually doing his own podcast training.
He's the real deal for sure. Yeah.
Yeah. So like this is, I think, just fun for him. He's just enjoying it. He's really connected.
Yeah, he's having fun. That's good to see.
He's enjoying it.
I love rich dudes just having fun, dude. That's gotta love that.
You got one in for Pokémon cards. What was it like growing up with PK? Was he a good older brother?
So funny. That is so funny. We kind of do look alike, I guess. We could be brother and sister, probably.
So there's a story here. There's a story here. Thoughts on overlapping our lives with the homies pre-scheduled lives? Sorry, man.
No, I'm not gonna start that bullshit tonight. Not tonight, right there. But don't be doing that. It's not
nice.
Cool.
Not nice, man. Not nice. He's just catching up. He said, "Yeah, Echo the Dolphin was fire." Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, 100%. Oh my god, thank God Retro knows what I'm talking about.
Good to see you, Retro, man. Thanks for stopping by, buddy.
Hey, buddy. Miss you.
So, Are you going to stick? I mean, it kind of feels like you're leaning now primarily year round for the most part on Collecticons and live events, or is there other areas you're going to try to expand into?
For now, it's like Collecticons it's a good little circuit. I'm thinking about moving soon.
Oh,
So,
okay. Because you're in
um,
Florida now, right?
yeah, I'm in South Florida now, and there's not a ton of shows here, which is kind of annoying. And
Huh.
the
I'm
shows,
surprised.
they don't have, like, it's mostly sports. There's a couple of shows like a year in Miami, but that's also like an hour and a half for me. So it's not like, it's basically, I'd rather go to Orlando actually because the traffic is not as awful and miserable. Weirdly. But there's not great shows in South Florida. So I was thinking, I've been looking into like maybe Texas because they have a ton of shows out there, and they have like the Dallas Card Show and stuff like that. And it's just like my family, a lot of my like extended family lives in Dallas.
Okay.
So it wouldn't be, at least I have like people that I know around. And also like Austin, I have a bunch of friends in Austin. Connor and Jake Smith
Perfect.
live there. So, just like trying to look at options of places I'd like. And similar to here, I can't do winters. Like I cannot be bothered with a winter. So I grew up in Florida. I've lived like in a 10-mile radius my entire life. If I saw snow, I wouldn't know what to do with it. Honestly, I'd just be like,
Turn
I'm
off
like,
the car. We're done. We're
I'm
stuck
good.
here.
I'm going back inside till this is over, dude. I can't deliver my eBay packages now. Like, sorry. Yeah, Mr.
Yeah.
Walrus in Chicago is gonna have
Yeah.
a tough time with me getting there.
Chicago or bust. Yeah.
Sorry, dude. I think you're gonna have to move, Mr. Walrus, honestly.
Nothing below 7 degrees, says Chef. Amen. Amen.
That's what I'm saying, bro. I think Virginia is like the northest I can go, basically, like without like dying.
Even that's borderline, yeah.
Yeah, even that is like, yeah. My dad lives in Virginia, so
Okay.
it's just like trying to be in proximity to like people that I know, or because now I'm just like by myself with Ernie, basically 30 minutes from me. And
oh, nice. I didn't realize it was so close. Good.
Yeah. So that's good.
I love it. Yeah, I definitely would agree though. Texas will probably also give you some really good tax benefits from a business perspective. So
yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Yep.
Win. I love it.
A lot of opportunities out there, I would say. So
what did Collecticons teach you? I feel like this was probably a big pivotal moment for you in the hobby and shifting quite a bit.
Yeah. I used to be like a grader. Like I'd grade everything I could grade. Like, and now it's like maybe I sold like 5 slabs at Collecticon. Like,
wow.
It's nothing. Like compared to the volume you can move in singles, it's staggering. Like there's no point, in my opinion, to bring slabs even. Like almost no point.
Wow. That's the first I've heard.
Your booth, like it depends obviously what you have, but like, and you can grade the right things and get like have people look at them and buy them, but like for the most part, just the amount more of volume you can move in singles at one of these shows is like just mind blowing. They're just like, you're just like doing 5 deals at one time. They're just like show you cards and they hand you money while you're doing like a trade with somebody else. Like there's so much going on. And I don't feel the need to grade anything anymore. Like it doesn't make sense, especially when I have to be like have enough inventory for this stuff. Like that's what my biggest struggle is now, is like keeping up with having enough stuff ready to come back when I get back from Collecticon. Because there's like sometimes a lag time of like a week or two where I have to wait for all my stuff to come in and then I can ship it back to me. So it's like just kind of figuring out that balance has been one of my biggest struggles in the last like 6-8 months. And I still haven't got it down. Like, no, it's not down. Like it's not fixed.
It could be hard to source, especially in large numbers, like decent raw singles. It could be hard.
It's a grindy bit, like you have to, it's like these dudes are paying me. It's like, you're paying me to stay up all night and grind on, like 5 hours of sleep, like up until like 4 a.m, just like looking for cards, like looking for lots of stuff that people actually care about. Is like there's tons of junk out there, but it's like most people don't want that stuff. That's why it's still sitting there. But to catch the good lots of stuff that people actually want, it just takes a bit of grind, and just looking all the time. So I'm never off pretty much, and my computer's always on, and like
always on the phone.
Yep. I don't mind. It's not that bad. I could be doing a lot worse shit, honestly.
Exactly.
So I don't care.
What moves for you in terms of the singles? Are you sitting in mid-air? Are you going all modern?
Fuck no, not mid-era.
No?
Absolutely not. No mid-era, thank God. I'm like 90% modern, I would say, probably.
Okay.
Yeah, okay. Modern Japanese, modern English. If I get a binder, nice little bindy. And I like, if I do grade stuff, it's like tag teams or just stuff that's super popular.
Right.
I don't really get creative or inventive. That's not what I'm doing out here in these streets. I'm vanilla. We're vanilla out here. We graded Pikachus and Charizards and Gengars. I don't know what else. There's no other Pokemon in my life. Sorry. Like, can't do it.
Well, you won't go wrong with those three, that's for sure.
Yeah. So I buy a lot of weird stuff, though. It's fun. The stuff you can find out there. I bought, let me see. I have like a Unigaba sticker sheet that I found the other day. I was like, this is cool. $5? Shit, yeah, let's go. Like,
is it close by? Can we see it?
Yeah, hold on. Let me grab it. All right. It's a sticker.
Oh, that's awesome.
Of like, I think it came in a box of all with the Unigaba stuff. Cool. There was like a T-shirt with it. I was like, $5? This is the sickest shit I've ever seen. I pay like $10 per sticker for this. What are we talking about? Yeah, I'm gonna put it on some bindies. Maybe we can flip the binder for like 20
That's right. That's right. Get somebody to sign it. Good to go.
Yeah. That's it. I just like looking for weird stuff a lot too. And if it's cheap and it's like funky, I just buy it. It's like just buying junk. But
enjoying it.
People like this junk, so it's a good thing for me.
What do you actually, before we move, I was wondering, because when I went, I didn't see, I saw one vendor that really, I think they had like 8 tables and they were all raw singles.
Yeah.
Do you find yourself being one of the few that are vending heavy raw?
It's getting out there a lot more. Okay. Like people are realizing like, the people that have all the singles are cleaned out at the end of the day. Like,
okay.
We were at Houston, I think. I was just walking it. That was like one I did one day for. And at the end of the show, we were leaving. Me and Connor were walking out, and it's like this guy had his cases filled to the brim. Like you could not see, like there was like the cards were like this much of a sliver for each of the card you could see. So there was like, it was packed in the beginning of the day. Wow. In the end, it looked like a freaking bomb went off in the whole section. And there was like 7 cards left in each case. It was nothing. Like, wow. And I was just like, holy shit, dude, that's massive. Like that guy is stupid rich right now. Like that's crazy. I didn't expect that. And he was like off to the side too, like in a weird little pocket. And I was just like, this dude is printing. Like, why do I even bother with also like all the streamers and stuff that are coming around looking for cards? Like they don't want slabs. They want singles. Like most of them, at least, you find people that are running slabs, but most people don't these days. Or they just grade their own stuff. So
I love it. Yeah. I think the premiums for those, we've seen a lot of that drop over the past couple of years for slabs.
Yeah.
Yeah, totally agree.
It's like most things are more liquid on eBay than they are at Collecticon for the most part, I would say. Like if you're grading the right stuff, it's probably just easier to sell it on eBay. It's like nicer to sell it at the Collecticon, but it's just more likely to sell on eBay because of the eyes and stuff. So
yeah. Okay. That's a good experience. I'm actually surprised to hear it, but I enjoy it because it's the first time I've heard anybody really pump the singles game quite the same way.
Yeah.
So I'm happy to see a little bit of variety here.
I don't need graded cards. It's a beautiful thing, man. It's a beautiful thing.
What would you say is your biggest lesson learned so far in the collecticon space? Because vending is a big difference between that and eBay.
Yeah, for sure. Honestly, like the amount of people that you meet and like connect with at these things is like so valuable. Like you can create really good friendships, business connections, like all of these things. Like, so you just have to kind of do, make it what you want it to be, basically. Like if you want it to just be like a fun time, you can do that, or you can really like grind it out and network and stuff like that and go to every trade night. And like, you don't have to do that, obviously, but there's so many people you can meet. There's just like the opportunity to like make a new connection is endless pretty much at these things. There's thousands of people in that room. Like, and the variance of who you're going to actually run into is mad. Like, it's crazy. You don't know who's going to be there, who's going to walk by your table. Like, you just like, oh, hey, it's Gem Mint Pokemon, just like hanging out. Like, just, hey, bud, what's going on? Like, and like the idea of like walking, it's fun to like walk around there and just be like, I know at least a person in every one of these booths. You know what I mean? Like that, it's like almost like a peer group or something that you don't normally get on eBay. And so that's like, kind of a bringing together like quality of it all. And it's just fun to like walk around and like dap people up, be like, what's going on, dude? Like, what's goody? And you just like, make the rounds, have some fun, talk to people and sell some cards. It's a good time.
I love it. Yeah, it's basically like Thanksgiving dinner and Pokemon all wrapped into one. All the families there.
It's like a reunion. It's like a family reunion, like a weird family reunion or something. I don't know, like a monthly one. It's really dark, but it's also true.
I like it. I haven't been to many with the kids. It's hard to.
It's tough. I wouldn't do that, honestly. I would most like, it just seems so stressful. I can't even imagine. I hate it myself, just like being around. Sometimes I'm like very overwhelmed at those things, like at certain hours of the day. Like you do not want to be walking around that place, honestly. It is a lot. There's so many people. You have to like just do these little like darts in and out of people. It's like if you had a kid, I'd be so terrified to lose them. Like you're just in a sea of people, It's massive.
We were walking through in Charlotte last year, and I had both my kids and my wife, and we were just trying to navigate around, say hi to a couple of people, and it was just hard to move. It was hard to move, keep an eye on my kids.
Sure.
I was like, okay, guys, like after about an hour of this, my nerves are through the roof. I'm like, all right, let's go get something to eat. Like we're good. But yeah. And the kids, of course, they were overwhelmed. It was just way too much for them.
It's a lot of stuff to go through. Like
every time they turn around, Dad, hey, Dad, look at this, Dad. Can I buy this?
That's another thing. It's like a parent trap, that freaking event hall, man. You're done for.
Go broke fast. That's for sure.
Man. Jeez.
Hey, Ryan, I appreciate you continuing to drop the links for all of our fellow Pokemon tubers here. So much appreciated, showing the love as always. Ryan's on top of it, man.
Nice.
Working his way up to number top 2-3 mods in the game here. Killing it. Love it. All right. Well, I think we've talked about business a bit. We've talked about collecticons. We kind of dived into maybe some of the strategy leading into 2024, or at least the end of it. Any other thoughts on the business side that you maybe are looking to in the future? Anything on the potential grindstone that you're trying to churn out maybe in 2025 or something?
Honestly, I've been thinking about doing like streaming stuff.
I was gonna ask you.
Okay,
yeah.
That's what you wanted to get me into. Okay, all right. Well, there's a bidding war for me apparently between old school Pokemon and and Dan. Hopefully on rewatch, tap in, Dan. No, I'm just kidding. I've just been talking to them about doing it because like it's just something I would have fun doing, and it's a chance to move things faster And that is very enticing to me. Like,
Yeah.
I I think you can do so much more with your money if you can just turn it. There's so much you can do, and there's so many ways to do that I'm not doing currently. And it just feels like I'm not doing as much as I can. So for those reasons, I probably will be doing some kind of like whatnotty bit or like eBay Live or something in that area. I'm not really sure yet, but we're getting our stuff together here. So I kind of want to move before I do all of it and like actually
set up.
Yeah, so I can actually have like a thing, and like if I have inventory like coming to me, it's not like there's two different places it could go and all this anyway. So
yeah.
I'm just trying to get that kind of settled first, and then we'll jump deep. So
well, the camera setup looks good. Yeah, so you got that down already.
Yeah,
perfect.
I'm trying, dude. Like, I couldn't figure out how to get the mic to work and the webcam to work, so I'm like such a boomer with technology stuff. But I'll figure it out. I'll get
one step at a time. I was joking with Chef
training or something. And
he Chef asked me a question the other day, and my background was in tech. So I said, I'm not sure if you could do that there, and I have to go back and check for you. Mm-hmm. And then he texts me back like an hour later. Say, I figured it out. I'm like, what? No, I'm the old guy. Thanks, man. I appreciate it.
Okay, cool, bro.
Can you tell me how you did it, Chef? I still don't know.
Please enlighten me. I was today years old when I learned how to do that.
All right, so you're gonna jump into some lives.
I would like to. Yeah.
Yeah, and I said the same thing. I said it to even old school when I talked to him about it, and when he was on the podcast at this. The thing that I struggle with in that space is that you have to be present. Like and it's funny because everybody, if you talk about Dan, you talk about old school, Rusty, whoever it may be, the ones that were doing it themselves or pioneering it in the beginning, even if it was just on YouTube.
Sure.
They're moving to say, well, I need people to help me with this because they realize how much it's demanding. And that's exactly what my concern was. I was like, I don't know that I want to be so committed to that I have to do it, whatever, 3-4 days a week. I'm packing shipping orders, basically all day long in between while trying to source inventory. And there's not a break. I mean, we all know how old school just kills it, man. He grinds.
He's a beast, dude. He's a mess. He's a madman, dude. I don't know how he does it. I do not. Thank God for Walrus, honestly. Like, yes, I see you, Mr. Walrus. I see you, Big Dark. You're doing the Lord's work, Big Dark. Lord.
Every day I'm complaining for you, Thrifty. I love it.
See, I have advocates, which is great thing. I have the boys to advocate, and we're big chilling, dude. It's fine. We'll get there. I'm also like much better. Like, I've learned this through nursing is like, I'm a much better employee than I am a manager, I would say. Like, I'm not good at that. I can do any task you want me to do. I don't mind doing stuff for a cause or whatever like that. Like, I'm not the person to like manage things. I'm not that good at it. I don't like it that much. So I prefer being like an employee, honestly. But here I am doing my best out here.
Well, and we get to work with somebody like old school and Walrus. I mean, what better?
I would work for Walrus. Oh, don't say that shit out loud. Hold on. I'm rethinking this. Hold on, I'm rethinking this.
Sorry, Walrus. I said it wrong.
Wait a minute. Wait.
That's the part that
Nick
didn't tell you. Rethink. Yeah, Nick left that part out of the contract.
I have to reconsider.
Which is actually really cool because it takes us right into the topic on content creation. You were running a pretty fun chill and chill podcast. Everybody was loving it. It's been like what, a year?
Yeah. It's been a year. I know. Like I said, it's like I just like was too busy, too like deep in it, to like. And I didn't think I wasn't having that fun talking about the stupid shit. Like, is Evolving Skies going to get a reprint? Like, I can't be bothered. If you ask me that, I'm going to smack you. Like, I don't want to. I don't care. Like,
Let me take it off the question list. Hold on.
yeah, like it just is so uninteresting. Like shit like that is just so uninteresting, and it's like that's what a lot of people on that at that time were like, really. I don't know. That's like it's like, oh, what alt art should I buy? It's like, dude, what the fuck? I don't know. I don't care. Like, just buy what you like. I don't have an opinion basically on like a lot of things. Like I don't. It just doesn't concern me. Like, and I don't waste my time with things that don't concern me basically.
As soon as I asked to be on Thrifty's podcast, she canceled it.
Oh fuck! No. Okay. After, oh jeez. Okay, we'll do a paying walrus live stream. I'll do a paying walrus live stream for that SIG, and it's gonna be so lit. It's gonna be the most watched live I have.
I love it. I love it. Coming back just for you, Walrus. Just for you, buddy.
Paying walrus for signatures live.
Mimicues only. Mimicues only. But you also did some great shorts for quite a while. It was something you really enjoyed to help kind of get you moving. And that also stopped. Now, that one's a little bit different because you were just kind of going through the Pokédex, ranking the things and having a little heated discussion perhaps somewhere in between. But that one kind of fell off too. So it feels like content creation as a whole just said, you know what, I'm just not doing it.
I don't know. I like wasn't having fun doing it, and it felt like just repetitive or something. And also like the Pokemon started getting real obscure, and there wasn't enough cards to do it basically. And I was just like, dude, I'm not gonna like every day I go through it and there's like, oh shit, there's only 6 cards from this Pokemon. Okay, I can't do this one, or I have to go like find some weird Japanese like just like
released only in this one cereal box
that, like came in with like cookies or something. Like it's just so dumb. And I just was like, this is too difficult to find these weird older like newer Pokemon. And so that was like the big constraint there. I was thinking about maybe like doing like a short series where it's like top 10 like commons or like non-hollows from each set, and then do the hollows or something like that to kind of bring it back. But I just have to figure out like formatting really for it that works, and so that it like displays well in a short. And that's like, I just haven't gotten there yet. And also like with the podcast, I really liked doing it, and it was just like me and my friends just talking shit and hanging out and just like
good times.
It was a good time.
But now you're doing it in real life.
It's hard to get people on all the time, and like I felt like it's like repetitive if you just like keep bringing the same people on almost or something. But or I just like didn't have any stuff to talk about. Like I just like wasn't that like deep in the nuance of the hobby at that time. I was just like, just buy Pikachus and Charizards and shut up, dude. Like I was just like not
we're good here
trying to like nuance my brain away, you know what I mean? So, and now I'm, just kind of here for a little bit of everything, because I don't mind a little nuance, and I also don't mind, just some, shit talking. So
you've done actually a good transition, because I hadn't thought about it that way, but you transitioned the chill and chill into what you do in terms of hanging out with your friends, chatting, doing whatever now at Collecticon. So it was a natural evolution to shift in person. Yeah,
it goes IRL. And those dudes, like the guys that I met from that is just like, they're some of my best friends like that I've made in life. Like I trust them with, they drive my car. Like I don't, I leave stuff at their house. I send a couple $1,000s to Dan, just like,
bring this with you, please.
Just like take this, bring me cash, like, and they'll just like, if I ask my friends, like Ernie will say, he like, if you ask Thrifty for 100, she'll just give it to you. Like, it's like, these are the people that these are the people that I get along with. And, I'm a very loyal friend, I would say. So like, I
feel there's probably a couple of good stories here. I would like to poke you just a little bit and say, okay, but let's hear maybe some of your favorite moments, some stories, some memorable things that happened here, maybe after hours, Collecticons, the people you met in the hobby. Something you can say without going to jail. Obviously.
That's funny. Let's see. There's so many things. Like, honestly, sometimes I'm too deep, like bar gone, to even remember the full night. Which is, if I get going on the White Claws early, it gets real dark. But lately, I've been able to like keep a happy medium of all that. So, 3 drinks, then waters for like a couple hours, and then drinks after that. So I've given myself alcohol poisoning more times than I'd like to admit. So
hence the 3 days of sleeping, right?
I'm doing really good for me. We'll say that. But yeah, just like, hanging out. It's like where the night ends and who's there is just like always different. So you're never doing the same thing with the same people usually, like, and every Collecticon's a little bit different. The cast and crew of nerds is a little different every one we go to. So it's just like nice getting to catch up with people after the shows are over, and like everyone's like, you can just like decompress and just hang out and talk about whatever, anything, just like how the day went, like what you guys are doing, like how's family and stuff like this. It's just like everything, all sorts of conversations around you, business stuff.
Yeah, it gives a good opportunity to really connect. That's for sure.
Yeah, and like I said, it's like a peer group, so it's like you don't always get to see how other people run their business or talk to people about that at all.
Right.
And this is like one place where literally everybody does the same thing as you, which is like so rare to find in the real world. But you're just like all collectively in one place for like one weekend a month or whatever. It's like very odd, bunch of weirdos coming together, kind of. It's a good time though.
I love it. All right, shying away from a good story. I feel you. I took the hint.
I like don't think I have anything like super juicy. Like there's too many beers consumed. Yeah. Dan playing chess and like 17 IPAs deep, like playing poker like at 2 a.m. against all the homies. Like there's lots of things. It's just like a blur, really. They all
one big good time.
Yeah, it's been great. Swami's house was probably like the most fun that we had at one Collecticon, though. That was like the biggest party of people that we've ever had in one place, probably, and that was the first time we all met. So that was probably the best, just because it was like new and we didn't know each other that well, but we did know each other. It was just weird. Like, yeah, it was just like nice to meet everybody. And now it's just like, oh, hey, PK, hey, Jake, what's up? Like, it was like, ugh.
Yeah, that was what, 2023, right?
22, I think.
2022? Okay.
Yeah, 22, the end of 22, I think.
Okay.
It's been a long time. It feels like nothing, but it's crazy how fast time has flown, honestly. It's mad.
Thinking about the way that you source your inventory, and going back to Collecticon for a second,
sure.
Do you find yourself sitting on anything to let it grow in value? Because it's gonna, not at all.
Absolutely not. There's no way this shit lasts. It does not last in my house. Like, if it doesn't sell at a Collecticon or it doesn't sell on eBay, I have avenues of dumping the rest of it if I don't want to deal with it, basically. If it's good stuff, I'll deal with it. Like, I don't care. I'll just put it on eBay, put it back on there, and start my algorithm probing, algorithm pumping again. But it just depends on what it is. If it's like good stuff, I'll keep it. But if it's not, I just find my guys and be like, hey, this is how much its market value is. I want this. And they just give me the cash. So it's a very good business relationship to have, and I value it a lot. Like, and recently I've been sending stuff to Nick for consignment for the lives, because he gets very close to market. And if I can send him, 50, 100 cards and get paid once a week, it's like, why wouldn't I do that?
Awesome.
You know? So
move it in between.
just another avenue.
Okay. Yeah, and a lot of the lives that have been happening, especially now that eBay Live's getting a bit more popular, whether it's Chris Weedle or it's old school, there's just a lot of good ways to move some product, and they go through it just so fast. I mean,
it's just you have to adapt, and like there's new ways of selling all the time. Like you can sell on Mercari now for no fees or whatever, and some people are like switching to that, or you can go like full on eBay, or you can go eBay cons, or like eBay one con a year or whatever, like just to kind of dump stuff. Or you know, Whatnot is a great way to do it. It takes a lot of work, and it sucks like all the bad press that shit gets, but it's a beautiful business. Like it's a beautiful way to sell cards, the fastest way I know to sell cards. So it's like, why would you limit yourself and not do that if it's available? You know, that's my kind of where I'm at. Especially if this is your full-time job, you know, like if this is all you're doing, like why not? You know, like
what are you doing? What are you doing here?
What am I doing with my time? Nothing. Like otherwise, like okay.
I still haven't been on Whatnot yet. I've refused to turn it on.
You don't have to, honestly. It's not like that. Nothing there is like that groundbreaking. It's just like a bunch of people ripping packs, and like people, like it's interesting to see what people are willing to pay. That's kind of my fascination with it, is like it's market research for what I think the streamers want, which is like if that's who you're selling to, you have to buy for them. Like, and if I'm buying for, you know, there's different ways of buying. Like I buy for convention specifically, and then I buy for streamers specifically, because it's not the same inventory really. Like there's differences in those things that, you know, the streamers do really well with, that don't sell on eBay and don't sell like in person, but they clean up with, you know. And it's just like interesting to find those little eccentricities and like little spots in the market that you can like kind of exploit if you know how to, or if you find the right cards to do it with.
It's fascinating how many avenues there are in this hobby.
It's amazing. It's amazing, honestly, that anybody can make money doing this shit. Like that is amazing. Like you have to be good at shit to make money in it most places. You don't have to be good at this. Like you don't have to be that good. You just got to be there. You just got to be there. Like you got to put yourself out there and like try. Like that's literally
true.
It's amazing to me.
I love it. And you know, one of the things I always like to see from the perspective of the people out there selling, whether it's Collecticons, Card Party, online, is I love to hear their perspective, especially even from your point of view, pushing perhaps what it sounds like more singles and a little bit of a different approach. What do you see lately? How has it been comparatively over the past couple of years? Are you seeing the continuous growth, still moving volume, but margins are lower?
Yeah.
What's your perspective on the strength at the moment?
I would say that it's still super ravenous. Like people still want the cards. It's just I think people are getting smarter a little bit with their money and like how they spend it. I'm sure, I don't know exactly, but I'm sure a lot of people got burned on different entry points. If they went for base set, if they went for vintage stuff, if they were picking up modern at the time when it was super low and whatever, and they're doing great now. So it's like you have like these two different like spectrums almost of like people who got screwed and people who did really well. So it's just kind of interesting to see like where people like entered into the market kind of. And fuck, what was the question? I'm like, I'm like going somewhere, but I don't know where I'm going.
The strength of the hobby, how do you see it? Is it up in volume, lower in margins? And I think you were kind of taking off that.
I would say like the margins closing is making singles more attractive. Like the margins for grading is like drying kind of like the gap between a PSA 10 and a raw copy is like closing. It's closing from what I've seen very rapidly in the last, especially with like certain cards like alt arts lately. Like that's mind blowing right now, but it just doesn't. people still want these cards. People still want to buy them. It's just like they don't want to pay a premium for them, or they're getting a little bit smarter when they buy, which is good, I think, in the long term. It's just like it sucks because people are buying like alt arts right now, and it's like when I buy them at shows, I'm like, do I want to buy at the peak? That's what I'm asking myself when I'm buying any alt art slab at the show. I'm like, shit, do I want to pay the 100, like where, at least what I think is the peak? And some of the times it's yes, and most of the times it's no, because it's like, I think there's way more margin, or like in the raw, if you can pick it up at the right price. And it's just like, doesn't require you to send and gamble with PSA, or it doesn't require a month or 2 months, a month and a half of waiting for them to tell you whether you've unlocked a 50% premium. Like, I'm good, dude. I just want to get my money in and out as fast as possible and do it 10 times before you can even get your return back. Like, that seems like the best like use of my time and money at this particular junction. So,
well said. Well said.
That's what I'm doing.
Did you have any? You kind of mentioned it before when you talked about maybe some things you couldn't move, but do you have problems moving any inventory, or do you feel like everything really flows out that you're purchasing, because you're mostly in the modern, you said? So
yeah, pretty much everything goes.
Okay.
I don't have you know, you can find different people. If I get stuck with some slabs I can't sell, I know a slab guy that'll buy them all at like, it's like learning who these people are at the shows has also taught me like where I can bring my stuff to. And like actually like get out of it if I wanted to, which not everyone can do at one time to one person, just like reliably go back to them every time and be able to be like, hey, this is 5,000, like, thank you, and walk away with $5,000 in cash or whatever. Like, that's not normal for most people. So you have to find the people that can do that, and you're like, they're happy to pay you for it because they don't have to do it. Like, they don't have to do the work. And I'm happy to do the work. You know, I love buying the cards. I love like getting them in, seeing what's gradable, seeing what's not gradable. Like, that's the fun part to me. So, and then let them do all the grunt work. And I get, 20 to, 15 to 30% margin. I don't care. Sounds good to me.
Move it to your point a lot quicker.
Yeah, I just like being able to. I think like the relationships have taught me where to take what I have and be able to move it if I don't want it. So, and you just have to find those people, whether it can be like a local person to you, or if you're in like the north, like upper, like the Midwest or Seattle area, you can find like Going Twice is in Washington. The people that run that, you can like reach out to them and go sell your stuff to Going Twice to one of the buyers there. There's tons of people that do that. Like, there's tons of companies that you can take your stuff to, streamers that you can just like go on Whatnot, see who's streaming and be like, hey, do you want to buy this? You just hit them up on Instagram. Like, I don't have to technically even go to these things anymore. It's just like, I can just send it to them and they send me PayPal or whatever. I just like cash, and I like hanging out with my friends for like 2 days for not like, and being able to do that for free. So that's kind of where I'm at.
All right. So, I mean, I feel like the market's strong from your perspective. Everything's moved. Yeah. Do you see any big shifts in what you're watching happen through all the collecticons that you go to? Is it obviously we've shifted away from Japanese a little bit. English seems to be about the same. I don't know if it's any better or any worse.
People are requesting English from what I've if you only have Japanese, like, people will walk away from you. Like, that happens.
Okay. So the joke is real. Okay.
Yeah, it's real. Like, and sometimes people are willing to overlook it, or like if there's a card that's Japanese exclusive, they'll be like, oh, that's cool, and they like want that. But for the most part, it's like you either have an English collector or you have like someone who's like fine with either the cheaper option or like just doesn't really bother them whether it's English or Japanese. So it's like there's a few different types of people that you actually run into there, which is interesting. And nothing crazy different though, honestly. Like people have always wanted the raw. Like people are, I think they're just like don't want to pay a premium. I think that's like what it is. They just like their binders, and people that are big in the hobby like Pat are like preaching the gospel of the binder, dude. Like it's
the biggest binder in the world.
It's literally massive. So, you know, I think that's going to be more prominent probably going into, it's like the kids are binder people and like the adults are like slab people. And it's like, that's fine. Like, I'm not here for the adults really though. Like I'm here to like, you know, you get the adults money through the kids. That's kind of how it is. So and like if you have $10 stuff that's cheap, it's like you can, that's how you like bring them in, you know, you just like, that's how they got me when I was a kid. It's like buying a $5 pack. You got me. Sorry. Like
flair and artwork. Yes.
Exactly.
All right. But no trends when we go back to kind of that market sense for a second. We're not seeing any trends from your perspective that's maybe slipping in, something new, something that's maybe going to cause you to take a shift in your business anytime soon.
Honestly, not really. Like, I don't like if I did really well like doing the streaming stuff, I might not have to like or feel the need to like travel to these, honestly, like because that's the ones that are out of state are really like quite difficult, or it's like a lot of planning and logistics, which is kind of annoying and I don't really like that much. But it, you know, I would feel weird not seeing people as much. Like that sucks. Like that's not fun to me. It's like half of this is like just hanging out with the homies, really. Like, and if I get to do that while I'm working, like,
awesome,
like, it feels fine to me. So,
all right,
yeah, nothing major, honestly.
Nothing crazy happening.
Okay,
because you know, seeing it on the collection floor or Collecticon floor, I should say, I think is a different perspective because you can kind of get a sense of things with data research, eBay, whatever it may be, Terapeak, whatever's behind it, but seeing it on the floor sometimes is like that early indicator to say, okay, hey, I'm seeing certain things happening. We're shifting here. People are asking for these things. And those are kind of the, ear to the ground types of moments. I want to say, hey, what do you guys see? What's out there?
I think like just having a lot of different stuff, like people like kind of walking down memory lane. I think also like when they're looking through stuff, they're like, oh, it's like they don't even want to buy the card. They're just like happy to see it almost, it's like, and so that's like a lot of fun. It's like super rewarding to get to talk to people. So I don't really even like, it's like, it's interesting because you do get to see what like the demand is for certain things. Like, but it's like obvious shit. It's like, oh, they like the Detective Pikachu promo.
Of course.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you. Like, okay. It's just like, oh, I sold out of this. Like, I'm going to buy more of that. Like that's
nothing.
Kind of like shows you what individual cards will go. If you just like try to have a little bit of everything, it's
okay.
And doing that, you'll kind of be able to like, just like narrow down what people actually are looking for. And like, sometimes it's not even what people are looking for. It's like the streamers are looking for, they come through and take your whole binder apart and you're going through every card, or, they take only like half the binder and you're like, oh shit. Okay. This is what they want. And the rest of the stuff that's in here is stuff they don't think they can move, or like, they don't think they can make margin on. So it's just kind of interesting and you can use it that way. But yeah, I take a video of all my binders before I go. And then that way I can compare it when I'm done. To see like what people actually bought and
that's smart.
Actually like went or what didn't move, what moved. So it's kind of one way I keep track.
Because keeping records in the moment, to your point early on, I mean, you got 5 people doing transactions at the same time.
It's
Like,
difficult. I don't bother. I just take the money and I'm like, fuck it. I'll deal with this later. Like I don't know what I'm doing when I'm in there.
Yeah, I'll re-inventory this and see what happened after the math is done. After math is done,
I'm gonna start taking pictures of like every transaction for this next one because like I don't even know what happened to me in Orlando the last one. I was just like, like I was just trying my best to keep up in Orlando. It was
that busy.
Hectic. It was very hectic, and I wasn't even like the best spot. Like I was like, we were on like a main like drag kind of thing, but it just like didn't have as much walkthrough as I had thought it would, which was weird because it was on a perfect, like it was in a really like nice area, big area, and there was lots of room. When the whole place is packed, there's like nobody walking by my table. I'm like, what the fuck's going on here?
Like, what am I doing wrong?
What? Like, where is everybody, dude? And so me and Connor were just like, we're like looking at the bags, like this, like I think it's like honestly a lot of who's across from you too. Like we had a purse guy or something across from us, so we had all these like different like Disney purses or something. It was just weird. Okay. And I was like, that's not that cool. So like not a lot of people are like hanging around it or something, and then you don't get the like extra traffic off that. But I don't know, just weird.
It reminds me, I was at the Charlotte one. Jake was facing like the sword guy. Like they had all kinds of different swords. I was like, what?
Yeah, that's weird. That's another weird one. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, it's like people see that like I'm turning this way. I'm gonna turn.
I'm good. Good on swords, thank you. Though, and they don't walk fast.
What does your family think about you doing Pokemon full time? What's their perspective, and what have they said to you?
Very funny. My dad will call me on his way to work in the morning at like 9:30 or something, like a couple days a week. And I'm like, and when I answer, I go, "Oh, good morning, chump," because he's like a working stiff, and I'm like just big chilling, about to go back to sleep when I get off the phone with him. And
waking me up, Dad.
He's literally like, "Get a job, bitch!" Like every time I'm on the phone with him. At the end of the conversation, he's just ready for that. But I'm just like, bro, no, you can't make me. Sorry. And my sister's like very much the same as me, so she does vintage clothing, so she gets it.
She probably understands a lot.
Yeah, it's literally the same thing, only different like medium, basically.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I know she doesn't like Pokemon, but at least she gets it.
She hates it. Yeah. She like, if I talk about it, she's like, "Shut up, dude. Like, I can't be bothered." And like her boyfriend will buy like tins at Walmart and stuff and like FaceTime me to open them, and she like walks away. I'm just like,
good to see you, sis.
Rude, dude.
All right. Yeah, but I can imagine it can be a transition for some, having that conversation, especially.
It's weird, yeah. They don't get it, but it's fine. They don't have to.
I've had a few of those. What do you do for a living? Oh, sell Pokemon cards. I look at you kind of dumbfounded.
Dude.
What do you mean?
I'm gonna start saying Pokemon Carney, though. I think honestly, like that's literally what I'm out here doing, and like.
That's going to spark some good conversations.
Basically, you're a barker at a carnival. My for it.
Oh, good stuff. I see R&D popped in. Appreciate it, buddy. Thanks for stopping by, man.
Very nice.
And he was on the way to a card show. So,
oh, nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah, card party that is. Yeah, he was driving out there.
Card party. Yeah, everyone's
through South Carolina. Yeah.
Everyone's on their way, so.
I saw Ryder, his son, got a picture with Cool Trainer Ryan. I said, "Oh, that's cool. That's cool."
Nice. Oh yeah.
Did you ever get your Gold Star Celebi from CTR?
I haven't talked to him about it. I'll hopefully. Well, we'll see if we hang out at the card party. I'm really not sure how it's gonna go. Like, because I don't really know any of them that well.
Okay.
I think who have I met that's there? I met Chloe before. And her husband are really cool. But I don't really know many of the creators that are going, to be honest.
Okay. So it'd be good networking then.
Yeah. It's just like a schmooze sesh, you know. You just just do some
Hey, you like
schmoozing.
Pokemon? I like Pokemon. This is great.
Or yeah, it's like yeah, it's how do you come off like I'm not a fan, but I don't want to be like I'm not like a fangirl of any of these people. So it's just like
Okay.
I appreciate them all like for what they do, but it's just like I'm not that like bothered by it. Like it's
Yeah,
like
like,
hey,
can I get your autograph? Yeah,
it's like
you
that's
know.
not gonna I like autos, but not those autos. I'm good.
Yeah. We forgot to speak to that actually when we were talking about your collection. I know
Oh
it
yeah,
was something you
that's
were really big on, and you were traveling for it. But did you kind of pull back on that as well, or you try to combine that with your travels and collecticons?
well, they kind of don't have them anymore. Like, there's
Oh,
not been a
okay.
lot of them recently, and the ones that they have had are in Japan.
Mm,
So I'm not
okay.
going to Japan for that. But
Come on.
like, I would technically. I think the next signings are in Hawaii for Arita in
Okay.
July, at the end of July, and then Jimeno, I think, is going to be in Hawaii before Worlds, like the day or two before Worlds, which would
Okay.
be really cool because I
That'd be
love
nice.
Jimeno. And I don't have one, which is annoying to me.
That's the one you missed out on, right?
That's the one
Yeah.
that
Yeah.
Charlotte.
Yeah. It
That's
was
why I hate
awesome.
Charlotte pretty much. So
I'm not
sorry,
happy for
bud.
that.
I'm not
Yeah.
coming back there really willingly if I don't have to. But that's pretty much like my main collection cards
It's
are
the signed autos.
yeah my
The
autographs.
ones you're gonna keep.
I've sold a bunch, but I mostly keep them
Yeah.
because sentimental, just like it was a moment, you know, it's like a collection moment that you can't really get back. Um, and I just like, or I just really like the sketch or something like that. Or, you
Right.
know, I probably had like 12 autos and I might have like five now, 4 or 5
Okay.
now. I don't know.
Kept your favorite ones.
Yeah,
Good
I pretty
memories.
much. Honestly, I did just sell the Venusaur, the Walrus's Venusaur, and it
Really?
makes me so sad.
Ah,
Yeah, but they paid very good, so I think
that's
I
nice.
sold it for like more than anyone's ever sold a Venusaur signed in sketch before on eBay, like in this market.
Okay.
So that felt
All
good,
right. Yeah,
and
can't be mad about that, but I
no,
understand. Yeah.
can't be mad. It's just like, oh, that was such a sick card. I'm like a little sad sometimes, but
That
you know.
one, putting it into the envelope and in the box, you're like, ah.
Oh no, that's a Volter. That's a Volter. Dan took care of that one, so I didn't have to like get sentimental about it and be like, I'll just take it off eBay. It's fine.
Yes.
No, that didn't
Oh,
get to
sorry.
happen.
Card got cracked before we could ship it out. Sorry,
I
bud.
was like, Dan, please take this, or I'm gonna keep it.
Smart
uh,
move. Smart move.
so yeah, exactly. Yep.
Skater Ernesto says, who has the most dusted
Oh
collection of all your homies?
Jesus! All right. Wow, that's tough. Because Jake Smith owns slugs.
Mm, mm.
Jesus, this is tough. Mm. Ernie has one of the better collections. I would say that.
Mm.
Ernie's got one of the cooler collections and like stuff that we all like, and he's a unlimited E-series guy, so he has some cool stuff. But
Yeah, I love it.
probably the most dusted collection would have to probably just go to Jake Smith, dude. He's a
Mm.
beautiful dust lord. He's the tallest dust lord I've ever met, dude. He likes bags, dude. He likes Torkoal and fucking Slugma and shit. It's just dark out here, bro. It's beautiful. It's a great collection.
The award has been gifted, ladies and gentlemen.
Bandai Yu-Gi-Oh dust. It's just a plethora, just like layers and layers and layers of dust. I can't. Yeah.
Apparently, Walrus is mad.
Oh shit! I forgot about Walrus though. Yikes! He do be have. Ooh, he's got some video
Yeah.
games I'd like to sell. Mm.
Consign your video games to Thrifty, there,
Yeah,
Walrus.
yeah. Take nothing. Take $0, and then I'll sell it. That's how we're doing it now.
Uh, that's not a good consignment. I promise you that.
Walrus, I'll pay you. We're gonna do a live stream where you get paid live. Just know, Big Dark. Don't worry. Soon.
So tell me, Thrifty, your sister's older or younger than you?
No, she's younger, like 5
Younger.
years.
Okay. All right. And you only had one sibling growing up?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it like for you two? A little bit younger, had a little bit of a gap. Was she following you in sports, with soccer? What was the dynamic?
We didn't really get along that well when I was a kid, because I was just like, yuck, get away, type of beat. Like, and
Because she was younger, or
yeah, because
just
she was
okay?
younger, and I would just like
Okay.
have my friends over, and she'd like want to hang out. I'm like, dude, go away. Like, you're not. Anyways, so stuff like that. It was just not. We weren't like good friends then, and I'd say like now we're like she's like one of my best friends. So, she is not as like sportsy, but we always like my parents wanted her to be, so like they'd sign her up for soccer. I was like the coach of her soccer team when I was a little kid. When I was like 15, 16, I'm like the coach for like these under 10s or whatever. And so that was like a good time, but it was really bad because I'd just be yelling at her for like 2 hours a day.
Probably didn't help the
like,
bonding, right?
It does not help in any way, shape, or form. So that was funny and just like tragic. But she played like golf and stuff like that. She was really good at golf.
Okay.
And that's something I just like didn't care at all about. Like I hate golf, but my mom used to work at a golf course for like 20 years.
Cool.
So we'd get like to play for free, but I just like couldn't be bothered. But she got really good. So, and I was just like on every soccer team I could probably be on. So I had like school and then travel and then rec, and like it was just there's endless practices and games and like traveling to tournaments and stuff like that. And it was just like a lot when we were kids. So busy schedules, I would say.
I had a friend, her son was into soccer. And this was when my boys were, just growing up and they were still too young to kind of be into really any organized sports. And she's like, be careful. I got my son into soccer and like we really got into it and got really involved. And he ended up going to Spain and like playing in some like big stuff. And like they were traveling everywhere. She's like, it's crazy. I'm going basically across town, driving 3 or 4 hours to one meet, going to the next one.
Sure.
She said, I don't know how we're going to keep doing this. It's too much. He ended up going in the military, but I didn't realize how involved it got. I was like,
it's not.
I got to pick my sports carefully.
Yeah. Pick the right sport, honestly, because like otherwise, honestly, it's just like being decent at the, like if they're good at sports, you can get real deep real quick. You know what I mean? Like if they show any like being good, you should just run that. Honestly, like it sucks because you're gonna have to do a lot of work, but like the discipline you get from playing sports as a kid, like I think is also really important, and like the camaraderie of that is like super important. But it's just it's like more taxing almost on the parents than it is on the kids, to be honest. The
kids just get to go have fun. Here's my dirty clothes.
It's like I kind of hated it at certain points because it's so much, and like it's like fuck, I don't want to go to my second practice today. I'm tired, dude. Like,
right.
But you don't really, when you're a kid, you're just happy to be doing whatever you're doing, And
you recover so quickly. I mean,
exactly.
Have a Gatorade and a sandwich. Like, all right, let's go do it. We're good to go.
It's like now I play soccer, and it's like I have to wait a day before I walk because my hips all fucked up, and I'm just like, honestly, like. My hips, I'm probably going to need a hip replacement at some point in my life, probably a knee replacement somewhere down the line. I like broke my ankle. It's so bad.
Playing soccer?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Lord. Yeah.
Yeah, I was like kind of I would just like beat bitches up on the field. Like I was just a menace, dude. It was dark. Yeah.
You were chasing them down.
Dirty. I played real dirty. Like I grew up with Brazilians. I grew up with Brazilians. We don't fuck around. They don't fuck around, man. So for those reasons.
Well, I will give you the same recommendation here in our, I would say, older years as we grow, that Beersky and I were talking about is you'd be amazed. Do some yoga. your back issues, your leg issues, like all these things that we have.
Interesting.
I was just doing it today, and so I'm vividly reminded by it because I'm hurting as we speak.
Yeah.
But it helps so much, especially
Yeah,
as
I
you get
don't
older.
stretch at all. Like I should and I need to, but I like really don't do a good job of stretching. And like that's one thing I've been like
Especially
trying to do a little more also. Like I've been just getting into like lifting a little bit of weights and stuff like that. So I'm trying to be good, like trying to figure this shit out. I'm just dipping my toes in at this time, just going for walks. And I like getting over COVID. I like didn't work out for like 5 days and I feel like shit. I didn't leave the house. I'm like, this sucks. I hate everything. I'm like depressed as fuck. I'm like, I need to leave my house and like do something because like this sucks.
And it's amazing how quickly it impacts you. Like when I skip 2 to 3 days, like my wife knows it. She's like, you need to go to the gym. Like,
Bro,
this is not going
awful. Good. Anyways, yeah, it's really bad. But yeah, I make fun of him, like my stupid little mental health walks. Like I just like make fun of myself. Like,
oh, that's hilarious. You know, take my journal and I'll write to myself while I'm walking.
Stupid. There's like a cat out at the park that I go to, so I get to play with the cat for like 20 minutes, and then I get back on my walk. It's like he's like my little adopted baby.
Oh Lord! And you start leaving the Pokemon cards in the park for kids to find, and yeah.
I'm bringing treats for the cat and Pokemon cards for the little to like scavenger hunt the kids.
Oh, this is good stuff.
Jesus.
We're not going there, Nesto. Not going there. I think we got the red flag.
I don't
already.
do that. No, I never do that.
No, that's for young kids. Yeah, we don't do that stuff anymore.
White Claws do not enter my bloodstream. Nah. Not at all.
What is a White Claw?
It's like a boozy seltzer, basically.
Okay.
Yeah, it's like vodka and seltzer, basically.
I was gonna say, I think it's vodka. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I've never had one.
Yeah. They're real nice. It's like refreshing. It's like hydrating a little bit. While you're dehydrating yourself, you're hydrating a little with the seltzer water. It's good. Yeah. Good little.
Easy to go down. Easy to go down.
Yeah. They go down really. Great point.
Taking it back to maybe you and your sister for a minute, because we kind of went off a little bit. Was sports really big in the family? Is that something your dad pushed, your mom pushed? Because it seems like you guys were really in it quite a lot, especially you.
I think it was just because I was good at it. Like it wouldn't have been a thing if I sucked. Probably I would have been like, I don't want to do this. But like I was good at it, and I just like doing stuff I'm good at. So it didn't feel like, working or, I enjoyed the time doing it. And, I guess there were times when, there were times when like I didn't want to do it, and they were never like, you have to do this. You know what I mean? Okay. So that was like good.
Like pick a sport if you have to go to a sport.
No. Okay. It was always me that wanted to do more, not them. Like they were always like, I don't even really want you to be on this team because it's annoying for me. So okay. And I was like, fair enough, dude. I have no car, so I can't do
whatever you guys say, I'm going with you. Right?
Say no, I have no way of doing this, so it's fine. But yeah, I was like always pushing to do as much as possible. And then I broke my ankle when I was like, I don't know, like 16, 17 or something like that. Like shattered my ankle, and it took so long for me to get back, and I just like never really got back.
That's when it fell off.
Yeah, and that's like when I stopped for good, and that was pretty much the end of it. But I play by myself, like around, like there's, like I said, there's a park with two fields behind my house, and usually now I just play at like the racquetball courts. You can just like kick the ball against the racquetball court, and it goes wherever it goes, and then it's a good like stress reliever. You just kick the ball as hard as you can, and just like have it come back to you. It's kind of nice.
Yeah.
Built-in teammate, So.
Yeah. Did that happen in like high school? When did you break the ankle? Okay.
At like the end of, or maybe I I don't know, my sophomore, junior year.
Okay.
I was like in crutches for so long at school. It was the worst. Oh, it was the worst time of my life. My school was massive. Like my high school was like so big. There was like 4,000 kids in my high school. And so it was just so spread out. So I'd have to leave class like 20 minutes early just to get to my next class before the bell would ring. Like it was so shit.
Terrible.
And I'd like get there and I'm like out of breath because I'm like fucking just like crutching
Armpits
around
hurting.
this whole like a mile and a half in crutches, and I'm like dying.
So I got to hear about the game where this happened. How did you shatter your ankle that bad?
It was such a freak accident. I was like running full speed, like as fast as I've ever remembered running to get to a ball. And like, I just turned my ankle weird and someone slid into me at the same time with like studs up. And it just like, the way that my ankle was like this. And it's like, she slid into me like this. So it's like, it just like shattered the whole fucking thing. I had to have a couple surgeries and stuff. And that was pretty much the end of that.
That was it.
Yeah.
Did you black out?
No, I was just like immediately knew I was fucked though. I was like, oh, I'm done. Done for, dude. I heard it. It doesn't, that's not a good sound.
Yeah. It wasn't one of those things where you try to get back up and keep playing and you made it work.
Absolutely not. I was like, it's
somebody pick me up.
What do I do? Like, yeah, it would hurt like a motherfucker too.
That's when that cold sweat breaks over you and you're just like, oh no, something bad happened.
This shit is bad. This is bad. And
right.
I don't even know if my parents were there. They didn't. I used to like get carpooled a lot with like one of my friends. I don't even think my parents were there. I had to like go with somebody else to the emergency room to like take care of it.
Hey, Mom,
and I was
Dad.
like, can you guys come get me, dude? Like, this is like before cell phones too, I'm pretty sure. Like maybe I got a cell phone. Maybe I had a cell phone, but
you had a flip phone at least, I'm sure.
Probably a Razor flip phone at that time.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Motorola Razor.
It was early. It was early cell phone days.
Giovanni Pikachu says, I just walked into a tragedy here. Unexpected.
That ages me. And I also, it's my trauma. Welcome, friends.
Good to see you, Josh. Thanks for stopping by, buddy. We'll start now. Perfect.
Thank God we can start. Oh, thank God. Yeah.
We're waiting forever, dude.
Thanks,
way
Josh.
too long.
Appreciate you, Big Dark.
All right, so let's fast forward a little bit.
Sure.
You ended up now going straight from what into college or into nursing school. So what did you do in between? There seems to be a big gap of time.
I went to college in Jacksonville, and then I finished. I didn't finish. I just like I wasn't going to be able to get into the nursing in Jacksonville. Like the program was very competitive, and I didn't have really good grades. So I came home for a little while and started like community college just to get like my grades back up and like figure out like how to do that. I went to nursing school and that took like 2 years. It was like really quick. I went to like an accelerated nursing school because I had so many classes already done. So it's just like basically do the nursing stuff and you're done.
You're good to go.
It was like a fast track basically for that, which was nice. And then I just I've been doing nursing for like
landing jobs years. Right into it.
Yeah, literally right out. I used to work at like BJ's before this, like the customer service, like wholesale club place. So I did customer service for like 5 or 6 years there. And then I just went full into nursing right after I graduated.
What was the reason for going into hospice? I've known a couple of people who definitely was in that space and kind of touching back and maybe going a little bit deeper on the points we made earlier. That's a really difficult thing to do. And I know you kind of said it from your point of view as stepping away from the heat of the hospital and the craziness. Was there like a family event that happened that kind of pulled you that direction first?
Yeah. My grandma, like she fell and broke like a bunch of bones, and
Oh,
so
okay.
it was like
Okay.
my grandpa was like at his house by himself. He's like eating cereal for every meal. I'm like, bro, what the fuck? Like
Okay.
you
Okay.
can't do that. Like, so it was kind of out of necessity, honestly, and it was really just to take care of my grandpa. Like, I was just going to be doing home health
Okay.
nursing, like what I do for kids, what I did for kids, just for elderly people, and that's like what I was going there for. I go to grocery shopping, help him get dressed and stupid shit, like just do little things around the house he couldn't do, stuff like that. And then my grandma ended up like they thought she was gonna get better, and then ended up she like had terminal brain cancer or some shit. So
Oh.
like she was
Oh.
like she just like didn't do anything about it. She didn't really want to. She was just like, whatever.
I'm done. Yeah.
I'm
I'll write
90.
it out.
To do, bro.
Right.
So I ended up she was gonna stay in like a hospice place, like a
Mm.
outpatient kind of thing. And then one day she was just like, I want to come home. And I was like, okay, like
Okay.
I'll take care of it.
Yep.
Like, and I just did it, you know.
Wow.
And it was a lot harder because it was both of them. But it was fine. Like I figured it out. My grandpa would help a little bit here and there where he could and stuff like that. And we had really good hospice care, like that would actually come in and help. Like the people that are like the companies that you get through insurance to do hospice
Mm.
are actually like so good.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
and
That's good
they're
to hear.
amazing. Like TrustBridge is like one of the companies that I've used for when I do private. I'm pretty much just doing private nursing at that point. Like for these people,
Okay.
like it's not an agency. I've been with agencies before and stuff like that, but this is all privately done. So they'll still have a hospice company come in and like
Okay.
do. Some lady will come in once every 3 days and like give them a bath or and just like do like little
Help
things. Like
help
I
out a
can
little bit
go take a walk or go
for your
take a
cat.
shower or like literally just like not be around that just like check
All
out for
day,
30
every day.
minutes
Yeah.
and then like the nurses would come around once a week to kind of check
Mm.
on progress and stuff like that. And those companies are like amazing. So I would work hand in hand with the nurses and the aides from those places. And yeah, it kind of just fell into my lap, honestly. Like I
Family
didn't,
event.
it's not like something I wanted to do. It's just like it fit and I was there
You
already.
had the skill set. And,
Yeah. And it's like what I do is what was required, So it's like perfect fit kind of stuff. And then, like I quit my job for working for like the old lady, in October of 23 or no,
okay.
October of 22. Sorry,
Me too.
October of 22. To take care of my mom because she was dealing with all this chemo bullshit and like having to go to those appointments by herself. And I'm like, dude, let me just not do what I'm doing. Like, I don't have to work.
Right.
You know what I mean? I could just like hang out and take care of you. Like,
Yeah.
and she was like, that would be awesome. So
Awesome.
I just did
Yeah.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. Enjoyed the time. Yeah.
Yeah, you got to.
What do you going to the hospice side of it, it changes people.
Yeah.
And and obviously there's some other sides to it which we don't have to go into that, but what positive things do you think you walked away with after having that time and those opportunities to take care of some people you loved, and what was some of the benefits you think you walked away from that you never would have thought of?
Honestly, it's crazy to think of, but it's like, and super freaking morbid. I was talking to you about this earlier, but like, you should, like, we should all be talking to our parents and like grandparents and stuff, like about
Right.
what they want when they're
Yeah.
getting ready to pass or whatever. Like, that shit is stuff nobody wants to talk about, but like, it's so important for you, like, to know. Cause then if like some crazy shit happens and they can't speak for
Yep.
themselves or like
You never know.
can't do it, like can't make a decision, like, and also like, getting in, what is it, like estate
Right.
documents and shit like
Right.
this. Like, it's so stupid and weird and tedious and like morbid to talk about, but like these things are really important for your future and like the future of
Far
the
more
money that
than you
your
realize.
parents have like literally slaved away for their entire lives. Like, you have to like you have to get your shit together, basically. Like, there's nobody that really is going to tell you how to do it. you know, like you can look that shit up online, but it's such a, you want to have it
There's
done.
nuances. Yeah.
Basically.
There's a lot of nuances. Yeah.
Taken care of before you need to have it done, basically, is one thing I will say that nobody thinks about really. Is it's very important though.
Yeah, and I was sharing the same thing with you when we talked about it. You know, my grandmother's leaving pretty much everything to me, and we've been spending the past. She's 89 now. She just turned 89 when she came to stay with us.
Nice.
So that's one of the reasons I went and picked her up.
Cool.
And so we had our birthday, but I probably spent the past 3+ years just going through different aspects, planning. Like we have her grave, everything, the plots paid for. The only thing I had to do is put the last 2 digits on the tombstone. Like we've taken care of so many of those things. The bank accounts are situated. And, you know, she was saying to me, as I told you, you know, she's like, I don't like to do these things. Like, Grandma, I get it. And it wasn't my idea. I wasn't like, hey, Grandma, let's do this. It was her idea. She's, I don't want to leave you with a bunch of mess to clean up and have to go through a lot of hassle. I wanted to be easy for you.
Yeah.
And it's been like, such a weird conversation, though.
It is really tough to have, but like, honestly, like you're going to be better off for it in the end. Like, just like not, I don't know, even like knowing who they used for like their money managers and stuff like this. Like it's so stupid and like random, but like if I didn't do that, like if I didn't know who my mom used or like what that
happened, be searching through paperwork. Like
she went so fast that it was just like, I wouldn't have known who to call. Like, and it's like, okay, we can call this guy literally have him, we'd sign papers so that I wouldn't basically lose like a percentage of her wealth to the lawyers, like the day before she died. Like she was like so serious about this shit. She was like, we are not like, and
we're not leaving us like this.
Yeah, exactly. And like, you don't want it to happen to you, basically, where it's like on someone's fucking deathbed, you have to deal with that bullshit. Like, don't do it.
Not ideal.
Don't wait. Like
we got stacks of paperwork where we've like filed everything. I took all kinds of notes, and it's so helpful.
Yeah.
And it's actually sparked conversation with my mom. Like, you know, now I'm talking to my mom's like, okay, Mom, you know.
It's like after I call my dad a chump, I'm like, make a will, bitch. Like you're not helping me by doing nothing. Like, sorry, dude. Like it's so fucking morbid, but like it's so important. Like I can't understand. I'm going to just keep saying, I'm going to keep on that. But yeah, that's my advocacy for the day.
Speaking of your dad, what did he do for a living? We spoke about what he's doing now, but what was he doing when you were growing up?
They were like waiters and bartenders and like just like in the service industry. And then my dad worked at a really nice steakhouse as a sommelier. Nice. And then he owned a wine store for like 10 years in the little like downtown area where we live. And like that was like probably middle school and high school for me was the store. And then he moved to Virginia, like, I don't know, after my parents got divorced. And like a few years after that, and he had like he's so weird. He had like a sheep farm for a little while. Like he like decided to be a fucking farmer and shit. Like it's wild, bro. Like I was like, I was like, this is his midlife crisis. Fine, dude. Like whatever.
Oh, that's hilarious.
So he was like doing stupid shit with the sheep, like just growing things. He would like sell the wool and like sell the bales of hay that he would have on his farm and stuff like this. And I don't know. He was just,
that's interesting.
It's a lot. And then he sold them recently, like for his 65th birthday, I think he actually sold all of the stuff on his land, all the animals on his land, because he's like, I'm 65. I'm too old for this shit. And I don't want to like have to go there every day to like feed them all and like take care of like another winter he'd probably be like, you know, on his, you know, he'd probably die of a heart attack one winter because he's like doing too much when it's cold outside and like trying to feed some fucking sheep out in the middle of winter. So
what a crazy career change.
Now he just works at like a wine store. Now he works at a little wine store somewhere near Roanoke.
Okay.
And he's happy doing that because he just is like he gets to talk about wine and nerd out and hit on old ladies. He loves that. He's violent. He's violent.
And your sister, I know, I don't think we said it during the live here, but your sister is doing a thrift store, kind of vintage clothing a lot.
So it's
so
like a
how did she get into that?
curated store. This was like, I don't know. She was in high school when she started it.
Really?
And we were at we used to love thrifting, me and her, when we were little. So I'd take her to thrift stores and she's like, we found something when we were, I don't know what the hell it was, but it was like a vest or something. And I was like, and she's like, oh, I know someone that would wear that. And I was like, why don't you buy it and try to sell it to them? And so I gave her and she was like, yeah, okay. And we found a bunch of stuff. I gave her $100 to start the business, basically.
That's awesome.
And
story.
she's turned it into whatever the fuck it is today. It's amazing. They're killing.
It's her full-time job. That's what she does for a living, right?
Yeah. She went to school for a little while, but she was just like, I can't be bothered. I can't do that.
This isn't working.
Yeah, no point. Okay. And she's just been, she's like an artsy fartsy type, She likes to, she did photography for years. So that kind of fit in with, cool. With the fashion stuff.
Fashion industry,
she could do a photo shoot that would take 2 days for a professional photographer to do, for a fashion designer. And she could do it in 30 minutes, probably. She's so good at it now. And it's her efficiency and not just the frills that it takes to put those things on, the amount of rigmarole that you can go through. She just cuts it down to very little fat and just gets it done really quickly. And she uses a lot of her friends to do it, which is really nice. And just she lives in Rhode Island, so it's a lot of
there's a lot of fashion out there.
Yeah. It's a lot of old stuff because it's the Northeast is very old, comparatively to down here. So they find cool stuff all the time, and it's literally a treasure hunt. What they do too, it's basically the same thing.
Yeah.
So it's kind of funny.
I think you said it was the way you worded it was pretty good. It's just the same thing but a different medium, right? So,
yeah, exactly.
That's what we do in Pokemon space. Yeah,
exactly.
Love it. Nessa says, question for Wonder. Why do you know things you're not supposed to know things?
I gave him the keys to the castle. I helped him on his quest for research, so he didn't have to go digging.
Yeah, and she did. In all fairness, she's like, yeah, go check this one out. This will get you started. It'll give you most of the good stuff.
This is pretty much it, and you won't have to dig through hours and hours of content. You're welcome. Thank me later.
Thank you, by the way. I don't know if I said it. Yeah, no, it did help a lot.
Yeah.
What do you like most about your sister, though, Thrifty?
She's very helpful. I am unhelpful, and she's very helpful. She's just very tidy and clean and kind of a freak about it. And she just gets shit done. And I'm a procrastinator and the opposite, basically.
But you didn't used to be. You wouldn't have that go get 'em attitude in soccer, for example, if you were.
I think I lost it, bro. It's just it's it's just an effect, a long-term can't be bothered after a while type of thing, yeah, I think that's it. I don't know.
Okay.
What's the question again?
What you like most about your sister? You answered it. Don't worry.
Okay, yeah. She's very helpful. She's the one. She gets shit done. The same reason I love Connor. Rock Pokemon is a boy version of my sister. So he's so helpful. He literally just takes care of everything. I very much appreciate people like that because I am bad at planning things. Not good. So
I completely understand, and as I said before, having those good people around you just makes all the difference.
Yeah. I agree.
So amen for the good sisters and the good friends.
And good friends. Yes, that's
Yeah,
true. Yeah.
exactly.
Yep.
But we'll move it in, and we'll kind of bring it to a peaceful close here. And I was wondering, from your perspective, one of the things that and maybe I'm wrong, and you can tell me here if I missed this one, but I really took you as a deep collector in the beginning, and almost in a sense against, in some way, making money in the hobby.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of people that have this make believe line, say, well, you shouldn't make money or you shouldn't do this, and we kind of draw these lines in the metaphorical sand that don't really exist. And the reality is it's somewhere in between. We're a little bit of everything at some point in time, and it's kind of like an EV evolution. We kind of evolve through this process.
Sure.
What have you learned in shifting from that extreme of pure collector to now sounds like more business, more seller, and kind of give that perspective to that person that maybe is only seeing it from one point of view today?
Well, it's funny because in the beginning I was just like full on, I think it was just like excitement, like you get excited in the beginning. I think this hobby is really just like a big dopamine hit, to be honest. Like you're just chasing a dragon, like,
Yeah.
and once that, like, you realize you're never gonna get to that dragon again, you can kind of just like, okay, I don't have to have any of this technically. Like this can take as little or as little time or as long of a time as I want it to. Like there's no rush for things. Like in the beginning during the pandemic, it was like everything was like scarce and hard to find and like whatever. But now it's not like that, like nothing is hard to find. You'll always be able to find it if you look hard enough for whatever it is. So I just don't feel really like any urgency anymore like I did when I first started. I think that's kind of the switch in my brain.
Okay.
That I've noticed. And so for that, it just like, I just don't want to spend my money frivolously anymore. Also, that's like I did it for a year or two and it didn't get me very far. Like, and this way, the way I'm doing it now, I can make my money go very far. I've traveled more in the last year than I've traveled my entire life, probably. Like, you can do so much more than just having these little shiny pieces of plastic in your house. Like it can take you so much further. And I like realizing that like is been really a blessing because you get to have the best of both worlds. You get to have the shiny cardboard for a little while and then you can, move on and get more. Like I don't ever not have cards. Like I've always got something cool. Like it's fine. I'm not like chasing a dragon anymore. That's kind of, that's my evolution. It's just like nothing is gone forever. You'll always find it, so.
I love the chasing the dragon theme. That's a really great way to put it.
Yeah.
And that just makes me think of Rusty. I have to go back and ask Rusty, how is he still collecting after all these years?
Yeah. I like stuff. I still collect here and there. Like, I hit like, it's stupid shit though. It's like it's like the McDonald's Squirtle. I hit a 9 on and I'm like, I'll just keep it. Like, I just like it. I just really like it. And then like, there's some like soccer Pikachu card that I hit a 9 on. I'm like,
I could see you keeping that one.
Yeah, like I'm gonna keep this, dude. It's not the Pikachu on the ball. It's like one of the XY ones. It's like that I just really like. I'm like, who cares? It's like $200. Like, I'll keep it. But if it's like something that's like 2,000, I'm like, this is not it, dude. I don't need this. I don't need this, bro. I can buy so many more cards with 2K. But like, yeah. But it adds up after a while. So you can't like, I like also the idea of like refining what you're collecting, like going through it every once in a while. I've done that on my channel like once, I think, or just like went through all my cards that I had and it was just shit that I bought that was like nothing. Like just stuff I'm buying while I'm drunk and on
Right.
eBay one night, or something stupid like just some impulse buy. And it's like that's all most of these things are just impulse buys. Like they're just dopamine hits. They're not necessary. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do.
So you kind of like, I don't know, you learn what you like, you learn what you're willing to spend your money on, and it changes a lot after 4 years now, whatever it's been, so
Yeah, I've shifted my identity, as PK calls it, a couple of times in terms of my collecting, and
Sure.
I was definitely going heavy on some of the set collecting early on, and I had a lot, especially moving singles like I was doing. I just got to touch everything, and I was just filling in holes. But I looked at a lot of that, and I was like, I had to buy the next 10 binders. I'm like, I don't know if I want to buy 10 more binders. I already got X number, right? And I was like, well, let me look at the cards. And that's kind of, I flipped through it. I'm like, I don't really want most of these cards. Why am I collecting the set?
That's it. That's probably one of my hottest takes is like set collectors are masochists. Like I think they're actually like they're just masochists. I'm talking to you, Zach, if you're listening. I'm talking to you, big dog. That's madness. Rattle, I'm talking to you, big dog. It's you have to be literally like just it's just torture. I don't like the idea of collecting cards you don't care about is weird to me. Like that doesn't make sense. I get I get completionism or whatever, but like why? Like for what? It's like
I asked that same question to myself, and that's when I moved back to say, you know what, I'm just gonna let me take the cards as a first step. It was hard for me to step away from that.
Sure.
I put a lot of time into it, and I was like, let me just take the cards that I like out of the sets that I really enjoy, and let me put those in one binder and just see what it looks like.
Yep. 100%.
I did that, and I was like, okay, I like this a lot better. And then I refined that again, and then refined that again. It's like, yeah, okay.
This is where it's at. Like you find out, like that's what you want to spend your time and your money on. Like it's
now I'm down to like six or seven different species of Pokemon, and it's just the ones I like, and I'm picking only the cards that I like from those
that's
sets, and like
that's the way to do it.
And I enjoy it, and I enjoy it. Yeah, and build some decks, of course. So
sure. You can do your playing, play your little game, big dog. It's fine.
We enjoy it. Chef, it reminds me, we gotta get our game going, Chef. We haven't
Jeffrey.
done it. So, we gotta do it, man. We gotta do it.
Oh shit.
Dear, we'll leave on this one as we always do. It's coming. We're gonna leave this hobby one day, at least. What legacy do you hope to leave in the hobby?
All right, listen, I'm going to be a Pokemon carny forever, so I'm not leaving the hobby. But here's the thing. I thought about this a little bit, and I was just like, I think that I like legacy and like having like leaving something behind is like, I think that's weird. I don't know. I think like being present with people in the moment and like making the memories that we've made over the last 4 years, like that's what the legacy is. It's not like what I'm going to leave behind. It's like just the people that have stories that we have stories about, or like just like time you get to spend is the legacy that you're leaving. Like in my opinion, and you don't like, that's not something you learn like very easily or very quickly, but eventually, like it's people that matter. It's not these fucking cards that matter. Like, just with peace and love. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I love them, but it's actually like the connections you get to make and the friends you get to make and like the real shit, not not the consumerism of the hobby and that. So I like try to like leave people feeling good every time. That's my legacy. Like having fun and just like being goofy. That's kind of that's where I'm at.
Pokemon's the mortar, and we're the bricks, and we're just building a beautiful place to live, right?
Just that's it.
I love it.
Wholesome.
Well said. Elise, this has been really fun. I thank you so much for your time. Deeply enjoyed the conversation. Thanks for all the sharing. I hope I didn't go too far either one
No, you're good.
direction. But,
I didn't cry, so we're good, dude.
we're good. We made it. We made it. We made it.
It's been one day. It's lit. Let's go.
But I can't thank you enough. Truly appreciate it. And everybody here, as always, we also thank you for your time, all the support, showing all the love. Ryan, thanks for sharing all the channels. If anybody here hasn't, make sure you check those out. If you're watching afterwards, give some love to some other people in the hobby too. Give them a sub, give them a comment. It's always greatly appreciated. We hope to see everybody here on the next rants and wish you a safe one. And talk to you all soon, guys.
Bye.